Rosie, one of my favourite curries is a Massaman curry. I'm going to make it with beef, but what I'm going to do is to give it some more body, I'm going to put some cashew nuts in it. And I'm going to get you to chop them up a bit later on. But that's going to give it a little bit of nuttiness and chewiness, but it's really going to give it some flavour, which is what I like.
It's also going to add to its nutritional profile. We're going to have some nice good fats there, a bit more zinc, a bit more magnesium.
You lost me after nutritional profile. I just I don't know what you were talking about there. What I've got is a beautiful example of blade, and you can see this lovely marbling all the way through. Gorgeous. And what I'm going to do is drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top of it to help transfer the heat into the pan. What I'm going to do is brown it off in the pan, and what I'm going to do is add some salt, because salt loves meat, meat loves salt. You can't cook meat without having salt in it. And some black pepper on there as well. Look at that, plenty of black pepper on there. Now, what I'm going to do is pop this into my pan. Now, you can see this is browning off nicely. There's plenty of smoke coming off it, plenty of sizzle as well, which is what you want to hear when you're browning off meat. You want that searing sound, which sears the meat, locks in the flavour and the juice. It's really important. Now, I've got some coriander here, and I've taken the roots off. But what I want you to do is just cut it nice and fine all the way along, because that's going to go into the curry sauce. And I've also got some cashew nuts there, a nice big pile of cashew nuts that have been lightly roasted, not salted, and I'm going to get you to chop them up as well.
No problem.
In the meantime, I've got this onion that I've got here, and I'm just going to slice it all the way through here. You can leave it quite coarse if you want, but nice and fine. Well, that's medium fine anyway. Now, I've got some garlic here. And what I'll do with that is give that a bit of a crush with a knife.
I like that. Do you know, the smaller that you crush it as well, the more it's activated. So you're going to get more of the benefits the smaller that's chopped up. And less garlic breath as well.
Now, that's chopped up nicely. Now, I've got two types of chilli here.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is slice that nice and fine. What I've got here are some kaffir lime leaves. You can see that they look almost like a bay leaf. They're a little bit softer, but they've got a beautiful limey sort of flavour, and they go so well with Southeast Asia cookery. Now, what I've got is my other pan here, and this is going to be red hot. I've got a nice amount of extra virgin olive oil going here, and what I'm going to do is put the onion, the garlic, the chilli, the kaffir lime leaves straight in there, and I'm even going to grab the coriander. I like to add coriander at the start, so it brings out the flavour, and then, of course, at the end, I'll get some coriander and add it to it. What I'm going to do is stir that up a little bit to get everything working together beautifully. And you can see the two-pan method is nice and fast.
It is.
Gets it all together, and a little bit of salt in there and some pepper. Now, all I need to do is add the Massaman paste now. It's sweated down beautifully, and with the paste, you want to cook it nice and gently for about a minute or two to sweat off some of the oils that are in there and get that flavour all mixed together. I'll put most of a jar in there.
Delicious.
It does, doesn't it? But as soon as you add the paste and start stirring it around, it really, really starts to come together. I'm going to add the beef straight into here. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the cashew nuts straight in there, because I want them to soften up a little bit while it's cooking. Now, to sweeten it up a little bit, I've got some coconut sugar. About 2 tablespoons is perfect.
I'm happy you're using that one. It's one of my favourites.
It is good. And now I'm going to add some coconut milk there, a nice 2 tins of that one straight in there, and some stock. Over there, I've got some lovely beef stock. You could use chicken stock, or you could use water. Now, you can pour that there. What I want to do is add enough liquid to cover the beef and cook it, but also I'm going to allow for some evaporation as well. Now, Rosie, this is going to simmer away for about an hour or so, and I know it's going to be half cooked, so at that stage, I'm going to add those potatoes there, check the seasoning of it, and then pop the lid on and let it cook for about another half an hour till the meat's nice and tender. Potatoes are cooked and they've soaked up all those juices, and the cashew nuts would have softened up enough to make this a beautiful Massaman curry. Now, Rosie, you can smell the Massaman curry. It goes through the entire kitchen, and that steam coming off the top is beautiful, isn't it? Now, what I'm going to do is put the fresh coriander into the top of it.
Lovely. And
I grab a couple of limes here, or a couple of half limes, and I squeeze that on top. I like the zing from the fresh lime and the fresh coriander through the end of it. Just picks it all up again. Now, what I'm going to do is just stir that in just a tiny bit, and you can see it's thickened up beautifully.
The colour's beautiful.
It is. It's really darkened up, hasn't it? Now, what I'm going to do is pull out a couple of these pig pieces of meat. Now, when I cook the Massaman curry, I like to do it with big chunks of meat. That way you can get more meat in your gob. Now, look, that looks fantastic. Just like that. Now, I'm looking at this thinking, there's something about this you can't eat because you're vegetarian, and I understand, but I feel like you're in my house. So what I've done is I've made the same thing with potatoes and some mushrooms in there, because I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to
nice.
feel like that you're not going to get, that you're not being looked after here. So I've got some fresh coriander in there and some lime. And what I'm going to do is put some of that in this bowl here. So you're going to taste yours with the mushroom and the potato.
That's wonderful.
And I'm going to taste mine with the actual, with the beef, which I think is going to be better, but this will be pretty close. And you're going to tell me what you think of it. Now, the thing with the Massaman curry, the potato is an important part of it.
Yep.
But I've also got some rice in here. Some people serve it with roti bread, but you can have it with whatever you want. It's great on its own. So you grab yours, I'll grab mine.
Lovely of you.
It's a pleasure. Now, what I want you to see is this is probably the most important part about cooking the beef. When you pull it apart, it should be really, really tender. Because I use the chuck or the blade, it's got a lot of moisture in there as well. The fat's in there still, and it keeps it nice and moist. Have a taste of that.
Well, I want to taste the cashews. They look like they've softened.
They have softened a lot, and they've still got some body to it. They haven't fallen apart. I think they're just delicious, and I'm just celebrating.
This has to be one of my favourite curries. That flavour is delicious. That paste is unbelievable.
I know this is supposed to be a cashew nut episode, and I have cooked a meat dish, but you can see by adding a few cashew nuts, it really sort of picks it up and takes it to the next level.
I really think you've done the cashews justice. Well done.
Thank you.